Okay, UPS drivers, the offer on the table expires, my understanding, the first round. So you have less than 10 days. Even though you've had 30 days, my understanding, according to people on TikTok showing their letter and their offer. Here's how I look at it, and I've been in business for 50 years, and I've invested in public companies, I've invested in private equity, I've invested in my own businesses and taken risk and so on. And I've been on both sides, okay? Because I've been bought out in my lifetime. Here's what I got. You got three choices. Either buy in and accept the offer, that's number one, or you stay and fight for something better. And number three, you wait and see and take a huge risk on what's going to come up in March of 26, my understanding that a second round will be offered. Okay? Now, how I look at it, I look at the shareholders. And I'm going to go off the closing of today's stock market. Okay? And this is what I mean about doing your homework. Really watching the competition. Your competitors basically at UPS are FedEx, DHL, Amazon, and to be honest, USPS. You might laugh that USPS is in the minor leagues. No, they're in the major leagues, man. And they're, in my mind, the Marine Corps of the logistics delivery services. All right. So let's look at their stock over their lows and their highs. PS, their 52 low is let's round it up, $91 a share. Their high over the last 52 weeks is $145 per share. And I'm not talking about, the market share or their revenue or anything like that. I'm just basically taking it off my information off my iPhone. They closed today on July 22nd at $104 a share. So they're moving up. Why are they moving up? Because the shareholders and the leaders, the board, sees that this is really disrupting the organization. One thing you have to understand, when they put an offer out there like this, I'm talking about the shareholders and the board of directors, they're not looking at 100% of the 20,000 people. No, they're looking at a percentage. And any percentage from 10% to 50% to 100% is a win. That's a win. Okay? So they're looking at this and they're going to strategically look at it and go, wow, we've really grown. Now we could satisfy the union by picking up these younger drivers, these contract workers, or whatever they're looking for, because the skill set's going to change. And with that additional revenue, which they don't think they're going to lose revenue, which I'm not agreeing with, they're going to invest in robots, technology, innovation, facilities, people that have a better skill set, and so on. You know what I'm saying? Now, FedEx, low, 52 low, $195 a share. Their high was $309 a share. They closed today at $240 a share. Okay? They're growing. Why? People see there's a war out there. There's a fucking war. And the institutions that invest in these companies, they're not going away. Okay? They're not going away. Here's an interesting one. You might not think DHL is a competitor because United States is a small part, but they're an international player, huge in Germany because they're a German company. $34 a share. They're low, 52 weeks. They're high, 48. Then there was an investigation over the last few weeks. Okay? They dismissed it, my understanding. Publicly, they dismissed it. Guess what happened to their shares? They're at $47.98. Okay? They're almost there. But what I'm saying is, when somebody sees that $33 a share and they buy in, what's that percentage? Over 40% growth. Think about that. Think about that. This is what I'm trying to tell you. You got to watch this shit. These are business people. They have a business mind. And what's a business mind? Money. Growth. It's not worrying about $1,800 a year, per employee. No, that's not it. They might be thinking it's costing them $5,000 a month just to get rid of you in a short term. Now, the sleeper in this whole thing is USPS because it's not public knowledge. But I'm going to give you a tip. You go on USPS.com, go under their tab called What We Do. What We Do. And they're going to start talking about what they're investing in, what they're doing. They've already let their 10,000 people go. UPS is seeing the success of USPS saying, fuck, we could do that. You know why? Doge did all this. That's why they brought in the guy from FedEx. Because he's got knowledge and experience, and he helped them get to that $308 a share. Think about this, guys. Now, the leadership gets millions of dollars. Okay, millions. Mr. David Steiner, he's got his independent money. He's going to make a difference, and he's going to take his $400,000, $450,000 and say, thank you, and I'm going to grow this. I'm going to fuck you guys up. And by the way, we're talking billions. What is it? The market share, USPS got a market share about 30%. UPS is the largest, then FedEx and DHL and Amazon. And Amazon's growing. Did I share with Amazon? Yeah. Amazon, 151 a share. They're at 243 and 50. That's their high. And they closed today at 230, 229. Yeah. Okay. Now, what you people are looking at is, as I said, you got three choices. You got to make a decision by July 31st, my understanding, publicly. TikTok. And people are saying, oh, we're only getting 1,800. No, that's not the total picture. And believe me, the guys that got a lot of time in there, spent a lot of time, they're going to walk away with a gift. Okay? So in other words, these people are going to sell their past and say, you know what? Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And they're basically going to, if you're selling your past, you're buying your future, man. That's what you're doing, But there's a lot of fear out there. And the younger you are, the harder it is because you really have to do your homework. So don't forget, your homework is to look at these things and say to yourself, what's going to happen next? Because if I don't take this, and let's just say 30% take it. The other 70%, they're going to go right back and do it again. And they're going to talk, and you know who's going to be in fear? Is the union, the people that stayed, and the lawyers are going to really change the wording. This is what it's all about. And don't think that they didn't know that there's a loophole to do what they want. Sure, your good friends, who is it? The Teamsters, the union, are going to say, they can't do that. Do you think the Teamsters are going to be able to barter with these attorneys? And who's got the money? At the end of the day, it's who's got the money. This is petty cash. But you know what? The culture is going to change. It's all going to be measured on the bottom line, guys and women. And this is why I'm saying, no one is too big to fail. But if they're going to fail, guess who gets paid? And there's no bailouts, not with Trump administration or Doge. There's no. But you know what? This is not in our lifetime. I look at it this way. If you're there, let's just say 10 years, that's a lot of hard work. You better love your job, man. And I don't care if you're making $80,000, $100,000, $175,000, whatever it is. That's the reason why they want to buy you out. Don't you get it? Yeah. And things are going to change. And you're going to get paid accordingly. If you go on AI and say, what's the average pay or what's the high and the low at UPS, what's the high? There's no secrets. They all know what's going on. They know the competition. They know what's going on here. And that's what I'm saying. USPS and Doge realized, got to get rid of the CEO, which his name was DeJoy, get rid of him, change the whole format, lay off, buy out, offer 10,000 people, and it worked. And the culture has changed already. They're already doing everything UPS is doing and FedEx and so on. They got to change. They have to change the culture. And by the way, the founder of FedEx has been replaced, as we all know. I don't even know if Mr. Smith is passed on or not, but I know he passed on his role as chairman. Okay? You got to look at the leadership here, man, and it's all public knowledge. These guys all get what we call a base salary, then they get shares. Well, guess what they want to make sure those shares are selling? Not selling at $90.55. They want to get the $150 a share in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. And how do they do that? Cut. They even cut their customer lists. I'm talking about UPS because it was unprofitable. It wasn't sustainable. There was too much competition. And who ended up getting it? FedEx and Amazon. Amazon's cutting every project they can. Oh, yeah. Nobody's talking about Walmart, are they? They're not talking about Walmart. You look on Walmart, you look at the trucks, big signs on trucks in the back, in the front, and so on, looking for drivers. There's that option. What if a guy retires and says, you know what, I'm going to take this buyout. I got, it's affordable, it's good, I'm going to reinvest it. That's the other thing. Think about if you believe in the company so bad, you're better off buying at the $90 a share and let it go because the next 2 years is going to go. Okay? Now, okay. So anyway, either way, they look at you as a loser. Yep. They look at you as a loser. There's no loyalty. They might like you. They appreciate you. But the bottom line is it's a win for them, it's a win for their shareholders, and it's a win for the board of directors and the leadership because they see it. They see it all for them. And they get free shares. And they could sell them anytime they want. See what I'm saying? You got to watch that too. When they start selling insiders or they're replaced or they like this guy, the CEO, that cheater, fuck, man, it's down, but if I invest with a company that's not ethical, you see? So I'm telling you, besides the trade wars, tariff wars, and it looks like Trump is winning on that. They just signed off Japan, my deal. There's going to be more deals. Look what happened to the stock market. This is all about money, man. It's all about money. Don't take it personal. It's all business. Do they care for your families? They think they're offering you the best offer. Now, are you going to fight it and say, no, I'm going to stand strong with the union. I'm going to win. You can't beat the system, man. You can't beat the system. And that's what I mean about going through a divorce or going through a political situation. Once you're out, man. Once you're out, you're out. And I'd say, from my experience after 50 years, and I've seen this in my own family, unions aren't sustainable. They're not sustainable because they're blackballed. I don't know when this union was set up, but I don't care how strong the Teamsters are. There's a change, and it's a change, man. And I don't know if you can afford it. They call it staying power. You have the leverage, you have the staying power to sit up next to the union and say, protect me for at least 10 years. It might not last 6 months, man. Because they're going to get that 20,000, they're going to get so many that say yes. Then they go back into their cubbyhole and figure out, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to add another 20,000 at this price and see what happens. That's all they're doing. And then they see that stock raise because what's happening is the public is watching, the investors are watching the growth. They're saying, oh man, they got the balls to cut loose. They pressed the code red, man. And you don't even know it. You just got bombed and don't even know you're dead. So I'm on this because TikTok is coming at me as if I'm cutting the deal. I'm not cutting the deal. I'm saying I already did my deal in 1993 where I had the same choices you had. I could take the gift, which I did. Second was, and it took me 19 months, I'm going to stay and fight. So I got an attorney. I got a valuation guy. I got a tax accountant. And I got a therapist. And I had no one else to think about because as a single divorced guy, I had to protect my kids. I had to protect my career because I was unemployable. That's why I went independent. But I was also 39 years old, and I took a risk on myself. Now, would I do it all over again? You're fucking right, I would. And my brothers and my family friends, some won and some lost. The only ones that win are with the government because it's basically guaranteed. My brothers in the printing industry that I know doesn't last. It's not sustainable. They go insolvent and you just lost your fucking pension after 20 years, 30 years where you thought that people are going to take care of you. Nobody's going to take care of you, man. So that's my offer. Don't come after me at TikTok and say, Rock, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know the numbers. No, I don't. And I don't know your numbers. I just telling you that you had 30 days to make a fucking decision. Okay? And now they got the rights with the Supreme Court saying, yeah, Trump, you can cut even more federal government. Cut out the fat. You know, they talk about the Social Security and the deficit. Another $4 trillion with this big, beautiful act. Okay? Having these tariffs is going to make up for a lot of this shit. They're going to balance it like USPS. They're losing $9 billion a year. They're going to balance that with the more market share. They're going to beat up these delivery services. And they're backed by the federal government. They are servicing us. And that's why they're so inexpensive on this. And they got the rule. And what they're not good at, they call them core competencies or core routes. They're going to outsource them. And it's going to be competitive. And they're going to say, okay, Amazon, you deliver this. UPS, you deliver this. And by the way, for half the cost. Yeah. Yeah. Okay? And where does this show up? It shows up in the shares per day. What the people believe UPS is going to do, FedEx is going to do, and so on. Okay? They're all in the same game. You see baseball, you see football, it's just a bunch of teams trying to beat each other and become a winner. USPS is going to win this war, guys. And it's not individual people. No. Big business will probably take decades. Who's going to be left? And who's too big to fail? Nobody. Nobody. Because it's going to come down to money and greed and who's going to do what. Okay? So it's serious shit, man. So you got to look at your opportunities, and so especially if you're young. If you're old, you want to work, you love what you did. The USPS people, they took it because they saw. And they have a guaranteed contract and benefits and what do you call pension and the retirement. And that's the other thing. People have to save for a rainy day. You have to live within your means. And no one's going to take care of you. And you're going to get a certain class of dollars. And that's it. And you're going to get like Social Security, 2.5 cost of living adjustment every year. That's all these guys do. That's all these guys do is just say, yeah, we're going to agree to 2.5%. And they're going to take that and up the cost to the client or the customer. Who's got the best deal? When I ship my books, I use USPS. It's less than $5 for a media. I go to FedEx, I go to USPS, $15, $16. Where am I going to go? I'm going to go to USPS. They got the tracking system. They got friendly people. I send it out. That's it. So think for yourself. And these people that have had 50,000 views in a week and 250 comments and a lot of likes, and they're like, oh no, we're going to get a good deal. No. So I want you to think twice. You think like a businessman. You think for your future. And if this is going to offer you the gift, take it. It's scary. But you got to change your life. That's what it's going to be. But it's still a gift. And if they're going to offer it, you take it. I'm in the merger and acquisition business. And the biggest fear is most private equity groups will make an offer. They call it a roll-in, and they offer you, here, we'll give you cash up to a certain point, and then you come back and then roll it in, and we're going to build it together, and you're going to get your money back. Very few take that deal or even like it, and they hold on. And bottom line is they regret it. Just expect it. To me, it's what they call a second bite of the apple. There's no guarantees. There's no guarantees that you're going to have a future. There's no guarantees you're going to get a raise. There's no guarantees that you're going to get your Medicare and your your hospitalization guaranteed. No price increases and so on. It's terrible. But guess what? You got to think the mindset of a business person. You run your own entity, your family, your budget. You teach your kids. And guess what? The best thing you could do? Always change and improve your skill set. Okay? So I hope this helps, because it's going to be interesting what happens. And then you're going to hear, oh, they only got 10%. So what? They're happy they got 10%. It's all in the pricing, guys. It's all in the analytics of what's going to happen. It's just the first round. And they want to see what happens. And guess who else is watching? FedEx, USPS, DHL, Amazon. And you know they say Amazon's the worst place to work, with no benefits, no nothing. And yeah, this is hard fucking work, man. It's very physical. You can get hurt. But that's when you decide, I want to change in life. Talk to your family, see what it's like. Hopefully you get support from the family that they want you to do what's best for you and your family. All right? So that's my say-so. That's what I'm going out with. As I always say, think for yourself. Take care of yourself and your family. Think it through. Don't be an idiot, and just take it personal. No. This is business. It's all business, man. It's all business. And the union and your friends, this is all your choice, a personal choice. You have a choice. You either go and say thank you for the gift, or you stick it out and fight, okay? Or you sit there and say, you know what? I'm going to see what the next pass is. Maybe I'll take the next round. If I understand it a little bit better, it might not be a better choice. I've seen it. I've seen it more than once, guys. So anyway, I think that's it. It's getting a little dark here, but I really wanted to get this off. God bless you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Let me know what your comments are.